What's up, everybody? Man, look at this setting. Like, I'm literally sitting in my backyard and I'm so excited. We recently moved and we moved out of the city and into the country, and I like it. I love this. I'm literally sitting next to a creek. It's amazing. So my name is Rachel Graham. I'm a registered nurse in dialysis. I am passionate about preventative wellness, about sobriety. I'm coming up on 7 years sober. My real mission has evolved into educating you on how you can prevent yourself from ending up in an ICU or just getting really sick, and also just awakening to your life's purpose and what you're meant to do and what gifts that you have that you should be sharing with other people, that you can share with other people. And so there's just a whole bunch of stuff that I do. There's a whole bunch of things I like. There's a whole bunch of things I'm doing. And but today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a guide that I created called the Awaken 7. And this is available for purchase, so check out the link in the description below. And give me a like and a follow. That I would really appreciate that. I'm back on the horn of trying to grow this channel, and follow me on Instagram as well. Facebook, I'm going to get into TikTok one of these days. But yeah, there's a lot of places that you can follow me and see my content. But today, this is a 7-day reflection guide and action workbook, and I'm super stoked about it. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing day 1, and then I'm going to be recording 6 other videos that I will share each week. And so you can follow along. You don't have to purchase the workbook if you don't want to. You can get all the information. I'm not keeping anything out. Everything that I share in these videos is going to be available in this workbook. But it is fun to print it out, and then you can do it for yourself, because there's some really fun questions that I have you answer. So I am going to be referring to the guide, which is on my laptop beside me. So yes, I have a script because I can't remember the amount of content that's in this book. I've just never been a person, that can remember long scripts. But you know what? Who can? The people that can, you guys are special in a great way. So if you've made the decision to quit drinking alcohol, that is fantastic. You are going to be just encountering a different, I'd say you're leveling up. It sounds cliche, but it's true. Everything that I achieved in my life that I'm the most proud of happened after I got sober in 2019. So if you're not sober, you can still do this workbook. There still is a lot of interesting, thought-provoking questions that I think you will get a lot out of. So don't click off this video just because you're like, well, I'm not sober and I'm not even curious about being sober. That's okay. This workbook is for you too. But what happens in the first few pages of this workbook is I do talk about alcohol. So you may want to skip ahead. Maybe you want to even tune in next week, but there is some still valuable content. So I would advise you just listen anyways, or you could fast forward through this part if you're not interested in hearing about it. So alcohol doesn't make you a bad person. That's not what I'm trying to convey, okay? I'm trying to convey that for me, removing alcohol just gave me back so much time. It created so much space in my life. Space to really be able to think clearly. Space to be able to feel really deep emotions that you end up inevitably masking when you drink a lot. Even if you only drink 2 glasses of wine a day or 2 tequilas or whatever, you still are numbing out to a degree. And I would drink to celebrate. I would drink if I had a bad day. I would drink, I just drank all the time. It was paired with what I did. It was part of how I lived. But without it, you really have this space to really discover who you are. And I'm 41, so starting off, we all are so creative and energetic, right, as young people. And then you kind of grow up and you sort of just become, a cog in a wheel. A lot of us do. I shouldn't speak for everyone, but a lot of us do. And you find yourself, you're 40, and maybe you're going through a lot of transition and you're not sure where to go from here. So this book is also very helpful for you. But alcohol affects nearly every organ system in the body. And we've heard this time and time again, but let's just get into the nitty-gritty of what that means. So after consuming alcohol, what your body does, it converts that alcohol into acetaldehyde, and I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So what that substance is, it's a highly toxic substance, and it damages cells, it promotes inflammation, and it impairs your DNA repair. And it has been classified as a group 1 carcinogen. So it's actually way more harmful than the initial ethanol that you consumed. So it's then further broken down into acetate, which the body eventually uses as energy. Alcohol also influences neurotransmitters in the brain, like GABA. It increases the GABA activity, which contributes to feelings of relaxation and sedation, while suppressing glutamate, which slows brain activity. Over time, your brain adapts to this, and it contributes to anxiety, poor sleep, low motivation, cravings, and emotional instability when you remove the alcohol. So the good news is your body is remarkably intelligent, and we can bounce back from this. So when you quit drinking, eventually sleep improves, energy returns, inflammation decreases, mental clarity improves. That's like one of the biggest things I noticed. Emotional resilience strengthens. And your nervous system, it begins to regulate itself again. Your liver repairs, your hormones rebalance, your brain begins to heal. But this is the catch. You may not feel any of these effects right away. Chances are you won't. You may feel confused, bored, restless, emotional, disconnected, all of these things. This is totally normal. It doesn't mean that you're like broken, that you actually like totally fried your brain. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means that you're simply waking up and everything is kind of getting back online. It's going to take a while. So you just need to take the next best step. So the first day one, is why do I feel weird? So why do I feel weird is the title that I gave this first day, because I felt pretty weird when I first quit drinking. And nobody really talks about this enough. And I just listed off some positive things, right, that happen when you remove alcohol. But that doesn't happen right away for most people. So, most people expect they're going to feel this like energy, motivation, happiness, all of this stuff is just going to be like immediate. But it actually starts with confusion. It can start with grief. You're grieving your past life. Maybe you've lost some friendships you've had to walk away from, and just your whole social circle and like what you do in a day or after the end of the day, it changes so much. So you're starting over in a lot of ways. You also may feel incredibly restless. And for a lot of us, I mean, man, I love to party. I love to party so much. And it just felt like without that, like, what am I doing? Because I would do things, but with alcohol. So removing it, you would think, well, just do the things you always did. But it's very different when you take that away. And so you might find yourself with an incredible amount of free time. You may feel like you've made the wrong decision even. You might feel like you don't want to or afraid of meeting the person who is underneath when you remove the alcohol. Like, who am I? I don't even know who I am anymore. So in each day, I'm going to give you an action step. So today's action step is I want you to put your phone on the charger and go for a 20-minute walk just by yourself outside. And just listen to the sound of the wind, listen to the sound of the birds, listen to the sounds of the vehicles, the garbage trucks. Like, just be very present with what you're hearing and then what you're seeing. Notice things. Notice, the bees flying from flower to flower. Notice how the wind blows through the leaves. Notice how the clouds shift across the sky. Notice as the sun retreats behind the clouds and then comes back out again. Just be very aware and in the moment. That's all you're going to do today. And then you're going to do a reflection. So I have 2 questions per day, and today's reflection is this. If I had unlimited energy and zero fear, what would I want my life to look like? And these questions are I love this type of question. And if you're a person that you get like anxious with these questions, just observe that as a thought and let it go away. And you can just jot notes down. You can write full sentences, paragraphs, whatever you feel inclined to do. But I really just want you to meditate on that. If I had unlimited energy and zero fear, what would I want my life to look like? Write that down. Maybe I only gave you about this much space in the workbook. So you could even get a companion journal or just a sheet of paper and just expand upon that. The second question, what was alcohol helping me to avoid? For me, it was social anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder. That's what it was. I was diagnosed with that, but I didn't feel comfortable taking pharmaceutical drugs. And if you do, I have absolutely no judgment against pharmaceutical drugs. I think they're great. And I work as a nurse and we use medications all the time, but I think there's an underlying reason why you feel anxious, and slapping a pill on it that's not going to help you, right? It will help you deal with those symptoms, but it's not helping the underlying cause or the reason for you to feel anxiety in the first place. And for me, I found that alcohol was actually contributing and making my little bit of anxiety, like it was making a mountain out of a molehill, essentially. So yeah, question number 2, what was alcohol helping me to avoid? So once again, if you're interested in seeing the rest of the 6 days and you don't want to wait, you don't want to wait for me to make the next video, the link to purchase this is below in the description, and I will see you in the next video.